I found on my daily walk was when I had any creative ideas.
Was that a surprise? So
It was a surprise.
You were taking the walk for exercise.
I was taking the walk for exercise, but that was the time when I think, because it was a basic thing, all you could do is walk.
Yeah.
Your head can be thinking totally different things.
Does my presence on the walk make that happen less?
This was way back when I was still working. So that was my time by myself. I think now I get a lot more time by myself. I haven't got the constricts of work or anything like that. So I have lots of time by myself. And so lots of other things give me that same time to think creatively.
Me neither, temporarily. So the walk has now become the connection.
Yes.
As opposed to the isolation.
Exactly. I mean, I've noticed the difference even in the few weeks that we've been going for our walk, how much better I feel on lots of different levels.
Had you not
doing
been going
that
for your walk?
No.
So I'm like your accountability buddy for walking.
Yes. And the walk would be another one of those things where you think, I'm not sure I've really got time for a walk today, I should be doing so and so. But I've worked out the benefits outweigh the time that it takes. One is we get time to spend time together, which is particularly nice. And if we're not doing a great deal, it's just nice to spend that time together. Just being outside is in itself good. I'm getting fresh air, I'm getting exercise, all of which I think helps my head. Being a part of the community much more than I ever would by just going out for that walk. You know, we bump into neighbours, we have a chat.
Stop! I'll never get going again.
I used to find as well that with the walking, and it does happen now, is that you start to absorb some of the things around you.
Yeah.
Because you're not distracted, you're not just trying to get somewhere, you're purely out to walk. So you start noticing trees or anything in nature, really, and a bit like we do now when we're out walking, you notice that there are changes in the seasons even. You notice new plants that are now flowering, all those sorts of things. And I think all of those things are quite calming. So that all helps. But it does make you just, start noticing things. And actually noticing things is quite a big part of art, really. You've got to see things. So a bit like we had the conversation about the sea. There are very big differences depending on the weather. And sometimes it will be very overcast and the sea will look really dark. And the sky might be looking brighter on the horizon because in the distance there is maybe sunlight. But above the actual sea you're looking at is dark. So you get those differences. And then in a different time of day or even another day or a different season, it's totally different. And sometimes the sea looks positively turquoise, say, because it's a lovely sunny day and the sky is blue and it's all beautiful.
Yeah, for me, I was wondering whether it might have something to do with kind of encapsulating the idea of where does one thing end and another thing begin, like the boundary between the sky and the sea.
Yeah.
And can you see it, and does it shift, and does it appear to be in one place and stay one?
I stop and look at it every day because I know that it's not going to be the same. It changes as you move along and you end up with lighter sea and darker sky and a bit in the middle where
Yeah, so what you mean? The line is less distinct from this perspective.
in the distance the sea is a bit paler again, I think. There's a pale bit of sea that could easily be sky, but actually it's sea.
Easier to tell where the sea ends and the sky begins today.
Really dark sea.
There's just so much more clarity today.
They pruned it so that you end up with these features.
That's unnatural.
Well, it's kind of topiary, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not actually unnatural. Actually, I found a good essay from this year called What is Natural?
And what have you learned from it so far?
The gist of it is that there's a lot of assumption presently that something is natural.
Almost if it's left to its own devices.
Yeah, but that's not how the word natural has generally been understood in the past, and there's quite a few drawbacks to thinking of it that way. You're using the word nature in that way when you say that those fields are not natural.
Yes.
But this article is saying that usage of the word nature is, in the broader scheme of things, relatively rare and recent. What strikes me as interesting here is that then she uses lots of water imagery, which kind of relates to us
Yes.
looking at the channels.
Yeah.
There's a section called Finding the River, in a sense that there's like a spring within, effectively. Within each of us, there is something which wants to flow, and that would naturally flow if the trappings of modern life, which are explored in the Newsberg, are recognised and stripped away. What you are doing is creating pathways in your consciousness through which the creative forces can operate. Once you agree to clearing these pathways, your creativity emerges. Just as blood is a fact of your physical body, creativity is a fact of your spiritual body, and nothing that you must invent. To what extent does that relate to your experiences? To what extent are you resistant to it being described in that way?